Hello everybody! So today we're heading down to the Eng. It's a really small valley in the Austrian Alps, so it's only accessible from Germany. So we're heading there and doing some photography. And the special about the location is that there's the so-called Ahornboden, so we have special trees in the autumn where we hopefully get some impressive images. So follow me along. So I stopped here along the way into the Eng because here's the starting point of the maple leaf area. And as you may have seen on the way down here, there are really beautiful autumn colors already here with the snow-covered, lightly snow-covered mountains in the background. And I'm going to heading out now and look for a nice composition for my first shoot. It's so beautiful out here. It was definitely worth to quit my day job early and heading out here. The autumn colors are just kicking in. And we're on a weekday, so it's less traveled here. So now I'm looking around for a good shot. And yeah, there's definitely something here. So I found here this lonely maple tree in the background with the slightly snow-covered mountains. And I will try to capture this. I think it's quite promising for the mountain, with the snow-covered mountain here. We just have to wait for a little side light of the tree. The sun is breaking through the clouds once and then I hopefully will capture a beautiful image. Yeah, I don't think I have to go wide angle here. No. Or there's nothing interesting in front of the tree, so if we would go wide angle, I think it wouldn't bring us anything more. But it's quite bright with the clouds and with the snow on the mountains. So let's see how we will get this to work. Let's bring you a little bit closer. So I think I will bring out my polarizer. Just got new filters. There. I'm just testing these before deciding to keep them, so everything is still packed. So I'm shooting here at f11 ISO 64. I have to bring down the exposure a bit because the highlights are blown out. But with the dynamic range of this camera, I don't think we get there any problems to go a little bit darker. So one test shot here. So we have there down the road. That's quite annoying. We don't want to have any cars in the shot. So really have to look how to frame here. I have to get a little bit higher. So I don't want to break the tree into the rocky surface of the mountain. So it should be only covering the trees down there. So go a little bit down here, I have less problems with the car parked down there. Still waiting for a little bit more sunlight here. So I just got a little bit further back here to frame my composition better. But there's still no light hitting this tree. So we have to be patient. The parked car down there is a little bit annoying. Okay, this could work. Not perfect, but it could work. We also have almost no wind, so we don't get there any blur of the leaves. So if I get a good shot, you will see it on the screen in just a moment. So I've now put on my wide angle lens, and I'm quite in a rush because the light is changing so quickly. Now it's a little more longer here. I tried to get this tree here behind me with a side light. So let's see how this works. I've put on my wide angle lens, the 15 to 30 millimeters, and I've also put on a polarizer, and we will see how I can frame up this tree, and we will see if it works out in a moment. So I'm heading down to the car now and drive a little further into the valley and see how the maple leaves looking down there and what for shots we will find there. But I think that's quite promising today. So while heading back to the car, I've seen this composition here. There are the maple trees leading down to the snow-covered mountain down there, and I couldn't hesitate to get a shot of this. It's quite complicated. I have my photograph roughly around 24 mils, and with a polarizer on to get a little bit more pop of the autumn colors. So I just went a little bit further down the road into the valley, and now here is the big assembly of the ahorn trees right behind me. So there's this right prominent maple tree down here, and the form of the maple tree is mirroring the shape of the mountain ridge over there, and that would be a really nice composition. As soon as the photographer over here is leaving the scene, we will try to frame it. Now a really big cloud is blocking the sun, but I think with light it would be perfect. Without light, it will still be a decent shot here. So in the meantime, as the photographer needs some more time over there, it seems like, I went over here and there's this really old maple tree, and maybe I can frame this together with a mountain in the background. It's not, well, there are a lot of other maple trees in the background, and that is make it quite hard to stand, for this maple tree to stand out. So my idea is that this maple tree is in shade, mirroring the mountain in the background, without any branch reaching above the mountain ridge. That would be disturbing for the viewer. Yeah, that seems to work. The right peak of the tree is in line with the peak of the mountain. I have to look at the histogram here to bring down the exposure a little bit, because the sky is too bright. So we have some room in post-processing to work with. And then we have here the gap on the right side of the tree that's leading down there, also to the gap of the mountain ridge, so that could work. Let's have a shot. Shooting here at f11. I'm focusing on the tree as this is my main subject here. And by f11 we should have a decent sharpness of the mountain in the background. Yeah, that looks promising. So I brought out my long lens, because here in the tree behind me there's a small gap between the branches where you can see the peak of the mountain ridge in the background. And I tried to frame this with my long lens. It's hard, I have to get really high, otherwise I have all the leaves in the frame. Don't want that, it covers the peak. So I hope it's stable enough, we will see. Focusing on the peak itself, so we have only a silhouette of the maple tree here. And at f11 ISO 64, but this is very important. If you shoot with the center column out, you definitely have to use this 2-second timer after you press. And I forgot to set it to the 2-second timer, so let's do it again. And there it is, so it's the job. Yeah, we don't have any blur of any movement. That's perfect here. Okay, we're back at the tree from the beginning, and before we're heading to the obvious shot of the whole tree, I will try to get another intimate shot like before, between the branches down to the mountain ridge, where some similar shape of the big tree diversion here in the mountain ridge. Yeah, Great, now we're heading a little bit more back and try the shot where we have the full tree and our frame together with the mountain ridge. Okay, back here we can frame the whole tree and get it in line with the mountain ridge. And it's really important here we don't have any branches reaching into the mountain ridge, so that each layer stands for itself, and we have to get this perfectly in line. The mountain, the gap with the shape of the tree. Here we have already another branch reaching into the mountain ridge. We want to have a certain gap here, not too small. Let's have a look. So I went a little bit further down the road to the end of the valley. Here are only starting hiking trails, but it's quite busy. So, yeah. Well, you can't have the beautiful places all by your own. And if I don't get home with a really good shot, because the lights lighting up the trees isn't a thing today, at least not for me. And I was out here, enjoyed the beautiful nature, and that's worth getting out here. And a good picture is the bonus here. So let's discover this area a little bit more. So, as you can see, the sun is now below the ridge line, so no maple tree is here hit by any light anymore. Yeah, I'm heading back to the car, and I think this was a nice. It was nice going out and shoot some nice pictures, and now heading home and see how the images worked out. So see you next time.